the last couple things I wanted to talk about were staying motivated. Now we're heading into probably the most difficult time of year for a lot of trainees. This is where motivation is going to wane. At this recording, we're about, let's see, it's December 13th. So, yeah, we're 12 days away from Christmas. And then you have that week leading up to New Year's. It's hard to stay motivated. The sun's not up as long. It's cold. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to go to the gym. There's a lot that's going to be going on right now to stay motivated. And I hear you guys. I know exactly what you're going through. I have I've struggled in the past with my weight. I've struggled with staying motivated. I've struggled with all the things that the average trainee goes through. And I just want to kind of tell you guys my story. And most of you guys have probably heard this, but if you haven't, I'll give you just kind of the brief version. This was me back in my late 20s. I was probably at my unhealthiest weight back then. I was 220 pounds. I was drinking, I was doing drugs, I was basically indulging in any type of food, fast food, junk food, ice cream, cake, candies, cookies. I was just, there was no limit. I was still working out, I was still exercising, I was still lifting weights, I was strong. But I was not lean. I was not healthy. My blood pressure was high. If I would have continued on that path, I probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you guys right now. I maybe would have had a heart attack, maybe even be dead. But I've been at that rock bottom. I was at that rock bottom multiple times, just skimming along the bottom, addicted to the cheap dopamine hits, overweight, out of shape, basically on a self destructive downward spiral. So I know what it's like to not want to do things. I know what it's like to not want to say, hey, I'm not going to go out and party. I'm not going to have that drink. I'm not going to do that. I know what it's like, and it's hard. It's very hard to resist that. And then you guys, most of you guys have heard my story about losing 70 pounds. That's where I'm at right now. And even today, I struggle with staying motivated sometimes. It's a lot easier when you're at that level of peak performance and peak athleticism and peak body fat percentage. And I'm at my ideal weight and I maintain. There's still mornings where I don't want to wake up and go work out, especially if it's at home and the garage is cold and the bars are freezing and I have to wear gloves and a hat and a hoodie, which I double up on my clothing sometimes just so I can stay warm. It's hard to do. It's hard to say no when everyone else is having pizza. When we do pizza night and the kids are eating it and I'm making it, it's hard to say no to the bread and the kids are eating bread and my wife's eating banana bread and it just looks and smells so good. It's hard to say no when people are enjoying a couple drinks of wine and relaxing. It's hard to say no. And I struggle with this too, you guys. It's very hard. It's very challenging. And you have to work through it. You have to visualize what the best version of yourself would be doing. Would the best version of yourself be like, hey, I'm going to moderate right now and say no? Would the best version of yourself say, hey, I can have one and then be done? Would the best version of yourself be like, hey, go ahead and have a couple drinks, go ahead and eat this way, but tomorrow we're going to get that back on the wagon and get after it. So you have to be able to have those internal conversations with yourself and decide what's worth it to you. But I wanted to let you guys know that, yes, I understand that this time of year is hard. This time of year is challenging. You're going to be tempted. You're going to want to give up. You're going to want to quit. And then January 2nd is going to roll around, and then you're going to step on the scale and say, holy crap, what the heck happened? I should not have let this happen. Now I'm really in the hole, and now I'm going to have to dig my way out of it. So telling you guys right now, stay motivated, stay on stay the course, keep doing what you're doing. You can relax and enjoy the holidays. You don't have to completely abstain from having fun and enjoying life, but I would highly recommend still working the system, still getting your steps in, still tracking and logging, prioritizing protein, getting to the gym, maybe throttle down a little bit. That's fine, but there's still a way to move the needle or at least stay relatively healthy over the next 12 to 14 days there. All right. That's my little spiel right there going into Christmas and New Year's. Then the next couple calls that we're going to be doing, I'm going to talk about the weight loss trifecta, which is ketovore, fasting, and tracking, kind of getting back to basics. So you combine these three right here, and it's going to equal results big time. This is what moves the needle right here, is mixing these three components together. And then powerful healthy habits. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. So having that SMART goal, establishing your habits and establishing your systems, and guess what happens? Results. These things work really well together. The first pyramid and the second pyramid. If you combine those two, you're gonna be doing really good. All right.